Well, that is your Polar Vortex update and your update on climate change, which I have already identified as a new ice age. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Holy Joe Rock and Roll, for Holy Joe Rock and Roll TV, or HJRR TV, however you want to call it. Folks, we have a Polar Vortex update for you. Now, beginning last year, as many of you will recall, I had identified a global ice age as the new theme. Now suddenly, being the trendsetter, all of these climatologists have changed their vocabulary and are no longer calling the weather trends as global warming. They're calling it climate change. Folks, I was out there first with a series of videos detailing how the planet is actually getting cooler because of the trapped CO2 gas, because of the heat that's being trapped in the atmosphere. I laid out a very clear scientific formula based on E equals mc squared. And we know that energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. This equation, invented or developed by Albert Einstein, shows that energy cannot be created nor destroyed. Matter cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only be transformed, transmuted, converted, you might say. My thesis remains solid. The extra energy in the form of heat. Remember, heat doesn't rise. Warm air rises. Why does warm air rise? Because of heat. Heat is a property of the air. When the air warms, it rises. All right, that's number one. Number two, the energy represented by this heat causes movement, causes motion. Think about action, reaction. When you get hot, you sweat. Action, reaction. Think about that in the atmosphere. The warm air holds more moisture in the form of snow coming back down after it is carried high where the atmospheric pressure is lower. Thus, water can freeze quicker and come back down. This is the action-reaction represented by E equals mc squared, which I have detailed in my previous videos. Folks, the Polar Vortex is just the beginning. And now they're calling the Polar Vortex 2, or the return of the Polar Vortex. Cold air from the North Pole sweeping down. Folks, what possibly can move the vortex down? It takes energy. Energy from the heat. Heat is a form of energy. Moving the mass. Remember, the mass is not created nor destroyed, only transformed. So this energy transformed, taking the oxygen, the air, the water, the moisture, boom, snow. Places all-time record-breaking cold. Minus 20-something degrees in North Dakota. Minus temperatures, 20 degrees Fahrenheit in Texas, where it never gets that cold. Historically, it's never gotten that cold. Folks, this is your Polar Vortex update, and I'm Holy Joe Rock and Roll. Stay warm, people. You better buy a fur, because it's only going to get colder. Peace out.